Hi there, I'm Ellie from Smart Apps for Kids, and I'm going to show you a demo of what this app looks like on the inside. When you've seen enough, click this icon at any time during the video to read more about it or to download it from the App Store. Here we go. Welcome to Storm and Skye and the secret of the car wash. For a great experience, you need to use your headphones, as you can see, so maybe you should do that. And we're going to go right back to the beginning so you can have a look.
Mum, could I please have a pink biscuit? Storm put on his most endearing tone of voice, which never failed to work. He was seated in the front of the car right next to Mum. They'd just finished shopping, and Storm had chosen the pink biscuits himself. He loved pink biscuits. It was his absolute favourite treat. "Not now," Mum said. "Later, when we get home and you've cleaned up your room. We've only been living there for a week and it's already a giant pigsty." She rubbed his tousled hair and smiled. "Maybe," she said, "Baldwin finished the bookcase." Storm muttered. Baldwin was his mother's new boyfriend. They'd been dating for an entire year, and now the three of them lived in a new house, in a new neighborhood, far away from their old home, and far away from Storm's friends. Baldwin had been trying to assemble this bookcase for the last 2 days, and had started over 5 times already. What a nerd, Storm thought. Dad would have finished that thing long time ago. But anyway, he lived in his own house, at the other side of town. He sighed. His father would have given him 2 pink biscuits already. "Hey, shall we go to the car wash?" Mum asked cheerfully. Storm bounced up in his seat. He'd never been to a car wash before. They stopped in front of a grey square building with a long line of cars. On top of the building, it said in big blue letters, "Waltz." And underneath that, a dirty, faded sign, "Car Wash." They must have been very old letters, the blue ones. They were covered with rust and flaking paint and were pointing in all kinds of directions. The S was even hanging upside down and dangling in the wind. "Is this it?" Storm asked, disappointed, as he sank back into his seat. "Wait until we get inside." Mum pointed to the entrance. It was large and dark and had a traffic light. Whenever it turned green, the first car in line drove into the darkness and the other cars moved forward a little. There's nothing to it," Storm said, bored, and he started to wrap a tuft of his hair around his finger. It was the blondest tuft in his head. It was almost white. Mum leaned towards him. "Inside, the gigantic scrubs are waiting," she said in a mysterious voice. "And the merciless window washers, and the spuming, spraying nozzles, and," she whispered, "the ruthless dryers." Storm got goosebumps. "But not to worry," she added. "As long as you stay where you are and keep the window closed, nothing will happen to you." And then it was their turn to wait in front of the red traffic light. Storm looked at the window on his right-hand side. Closed. All the other windows were closed as well, and his seatbelt was securely fastened. Thank goodness, everything was safe. But when the traffic light turned green and the car gently moved forward over the threshold, he suddenly became very quiet.
Well, up here, there's a little question mark. Let's tap on that. And that shows you all the hotspots that we could choose. So, let's choose the tree. And the traffic light. Oh, that goes up and down. And the satellite. And The S for waltz. Squeaks. So, what happens when we tap? Show menu. Shall we go on to the next one?
For a while it was pitch dark. But then Storm saw large machines with blinking lights on them. Red and green and yellow and blue. Slowly, the car went forward. But Mum wasn't doing anything. The car moved on its own. Storm was leaning forward as far as possible. It was difficult to see anything in the dark. "I think they forgot to turn on the lights today," Mum said. "The scrub brushes better do a good job scrubbing the car." Then two strange figures appeared. They looked like huge dolls on metal bars with thick, long grey hair. They started spinning around, faster and faster, their long hair swishing up. Immediately afterwards, there was a hissing sound and the windows were covered in soap. Through the windshield, Storm could vaguely see the bouncy dolls moving to the side of the car as if they were dancing. They rolled their heads on the windows and left streaks in the soap. Storm tried to look through the side window, but the soap was blocking the view. Then, suddenly, he saw something. Something moved out there, in the dark. He looked closely. Yes, there it was again. A kind of shadow. It was very close. Quickly it slipped between the machines and was then swallowed by the darkness. But Storm had clearly seen it. "Mum, I saw a boy running around there between the machines." "A boy?" Mum asked, surprised. "That seems awfully dangerous. Are you sure?" "Yes," he nodded firmly. "Really?" He had seen a skinny boy with brown spiky hair, and there was something strange going on with his face, which had shone silvery in the faint light.
Oh my goodness. Let's go and see if we can pick another chapter and just have another quick look at what else we might see in here. There's 45 minutes or over 45 minutes of story in here. The music's fantastic. Let's skip to, let's say, chapter 7 and see what's happening then.
Skye's voice made both the knight and Storm look back in terror. Not that far away from them, on top of a high machine, something big and dark was lurking around. It had pointed wings, green scales, huge claws, a spiny tail, a horn on its nose, glowing red eyes, a giant mouth, razor-sharp teeth. It was dripping wet and smelled terrible. The dragon stood in its hind legs, and with a deafening roar, he spat a huge flame through the car wash. For a second, everything was brightly lit up, and a terrible heat spread through the room. Skye, who was closest, quickly ducked behind a large brush for cover. But Storm remained standing, nailed to the ground. He stared at the dragon and at the fire. He couldn't move an inch.
Oh no.
Even though the dragon...
This is not going to end well. Well, actually, I think it probably will end well. But jeepers, isn't that an exciting story? I wonder what happens next. You're going to have to go and find out for yourself. Now, don't go without clicking on our Smart Apps for Kids links for great reviews, free apps every single day, and the best giveaways.